Um, yeah, they're very good at telling us exactly what it is that we need to co-create.
Mm-hmm. That's what, yeah, I was going to ask, about any specific colors or anything. I'm like, why would I do that? But, I can get everything that I need at home, and they're not shy about giving it to me. And I really appreciate their help because look at my flowers.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And thank you again. Now that the record button is on for Arla Collett Williams, bringing forth the Ancestor Grandmothers and whoever else may peek in and give a word or two or a wonderful vibration. And I don't have anything else. I could go on and on about her accolades, but she would kind of prefer that I don't. So we'll let her add whatever she would like to add, and you can investigate her own, on your own. It's a fantastic stories and grouping of
Uh,
stories. Thank you, Arla.
Thank you, Ray. It's such a pleasure to be here and to bring the grandmothers. They were reminding me that um, they are me and I am them. And that happened several years ago when they finally showed me who I was and that I was them. And so they are very happy to be coming again and speaking. Of course, it had been a very long time until recently. They had said to me today that they have been silent for such a long time. And I said, but grandmothers, you're never silent. And they looked at me and said, yes, shining star. We talk to the wind. We talk to the trees. We talk to the earth. We talk to the planets, the stars. We talk to the hearts of people. And when people feel a tug, that could be us. It's not always us, but sometimes it is. So they have always brought me such joy and such laughter, and they keep me out of my head and from carrying things on my shoulders, which is what a lot of us do. Um, but at this point, I will let the grandmothers come in. Hey, hey, we are so blessed to be here today. We thank you so much for inviting us to come and speak. We have so much to share and so little time to do it. Things are moving fast now. We're sure that everyone is feeling this, a kind of anxiousness that comes, and you wonder, why am I feeling so anxious? And it is the energy that's swirling around as we come close to understanding that this earth is who we are looking for. Humanity has asked itself, why am I here? Who am I? Where am I? And the truth is, you are here in this moment. But in this moment, you are connected to many realms, many dimensions, and those signs are coming to everyone. You see things and you immediately know all about those things. You never thought of what those things were, but you know. You may not be able to put it into words, but you know, and your heart knows. And your heart is so joyous when that moment comes and you feel that knowing welling up in your heart and that feeling of being connected to everything. There is no separation of anything. The oceans teach how to set your rhythms. The waves coming in and kissing the shore sets the rhythm of your heart, and you can feel it and you can rock with that feeling as the grandmother rocks her grandchildren, that comfortable feeling of love and being wrapped in the arms of love. Don't be wrapped up in this 3D manifestation that is all around you. These things are like tests. They are teaching you how to stay in your heart, how to look at everything through your heart. Your heart eyes are the most wonderful thing to help you see all that you need to see. The waters are changing. There is more love being shared through the waters. You can feel that love from the water. This was all by design when the Earth Mother was birthed. The waters and the stone people came together and decided the memories of the beginning could be accessed through the water and through the stone people. You see many people now so involved with the stone people, and many stone people now are showing themselves in many ways. Giant megaliths and other things are being seen. People are taking photos of the stone people as the stone people show them themselves. Do not negate the power of this physical Earth Mother and all she has for us. She is the mother that loves you. Yes, there is an imbalance on this earth at this time, but it is not her creation. This is a creation of the energy. So hold her in your heart. Send all of that love energy that you have to her. She so willingly shares her love with you. You can walk even into a park or into a garden or beside a tree and feel the love that is coming from these, the radiating energy of love. Soak it up, soak it up. It helps you. It helps you to weather this 3D existence. And this is an important existence for humans who are learning. So many are here on this earth as humans, learning and sharing. The star people are here in great numbers. Contact has been made many times over. And if you listen with your heart, you will hear the star people talk to you. You will hear the grandmothers talk to you. You will hear all of these who have come talk to your heart. Love is the energy of where we're going. Being in that love, being in that balance, sharing love with all. We cannot only share love to those we love. We share love with everyone and everything. It's easy to share love with someone you love. And sometimes it's not very easy to share love with those who you have a problem with. As we said before, do not allow the 3D reality that you are living in to take you from your love. When you feel that happening, stop and go into your heart and radiate that love out. Radiate it out to what pulled you away. Everything needs love. And the most important is to love yourself. Shining Star talks a lot about that. Loving yourself gives you the foundation to love everything. If you are love, then that is what radiates from you and goes into this world and into the universes and beyond. There is no restriction on love. The energy of love is pure. if you are having problems now with your body feeling like it's being pushed and pulled, stop and go into your heart. Feel what your heart is telling you. Bless your waters. Bless your waters. Bless your waters. All that goes within you, as Circe says, and all that goes on the outward part of this physical body. I wish to give you greetings and to speak about the things that are going on, that many have come together to assist. We have been working diligently with many star people, and yet I am always in the space of my Aucha, my granddaughter. Know that we are more than what humanity perceives us are. We are only one road to your higher consciousness. There are many here that are leading the way with peace and love. Ascension is a consciousness. Many will live in a consciousness as the Earth Mother is. Many will choose to go to another dimension. Ascension is not a place. It is a consciousness. Again, we the grandmothers send you much love. We are always here for you. Always here for you. Always here for you. We are ready for the questions, even though you already have all the answers.
Miles?
Yeah. So the question I have is there's an interstellar space object moving through our solar system called 3I Atlas. Can you speak about that or tell us any more about that?
There are many things that come from what many call the heavens that have dual purposes. They have a physical purpose and they have a spiritual purpose. It is up to the person to understand that for themselves. So many things now are being presented to humanity. It's as if a bowl of many things has been thrust into the heavens, and it's all sprinkling down on us. There is always information that will be important to you. And what it brings to you may not be the same thing that it is bringing to someone else. We all are given what it is that we will be able to utilize to connect even more with our higher selves. Is there something else you wish to ask?
No, that was extremely helpful. I thought of telling my wife the exact same thing. She had to decide for herself. And of course, since she brought it up to me, I have to decide for myself as well. So that was very helpful. Thank you.
And so you had the answer.
Yes, it appears so.
Thank you, Heidi.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the under Ascension is consciousness and the earth realm and other realms. And I wanted to ask about if some beings will choose to work from other realms but be still very heavily connected to the earth realm, to participate, to benefit, to work with energies, to send energies. What my imagination's kind of going right now, but I'm wondering what that might look or feel like.
There will be choices made of where to be. And yes, many will be in what is called another realm and continue to help here. The Earth Mother is going nowhere. She is here. We will be the ones that will live a higher dimensional life through our higher consciousness. We also believe that those who choose to stay in this reality, even though their consciousness has risen, they will know those who did not make the choice. And yet they will be here within the confines of that choice, continuing to help. Shining Star has done this many times. She travels through the dimensions, and she always comes back to the earth because her heart is here and within the stars, but the stars are within her. And so she is always home. But it will be a choice of each being who connects with what is called the Ascension, with that higher consciousness, to continue in this, or to choose another place, but still yet send the love energy and what it is that they are to do to continue to help this earth, because many on this earth will not have raised their consciousness. They will still be living in that 3D consciousness. We see so many who are living in this 3D world that their consciousness radiates from them. And you know, when you see them, they have ascended. Their consciousness has changed. And you can feel it when you see them. It's as if there are lights that are springing from their heart and around their body. So many. Open your heart to see them. They are there. The star people are there. We have so much help for this Earth Mother and for humanity's consciousness, and for those beings, as we all were a being of some kind before we came here to learn about being a human, which is a wondrous thing, to look at this physical representation of a human and know that that soul resides within that, to be able to understand this 3D existence. 4D is here. It is a part of this Earth Mother at this time. It is a part of those who are walking. They are very evident. You see them shift as if something woke them up. And they were asking questions and opening to so many things, and loving and showing love. And 5D is definitely not the ultimate. There will be more and more. all within the circle of love. We feel so blessed to have integrated with Shining Star. Through that, we, the grandmothers, were able to feel as a human and to understand. We are so thankful for all that is brought to this existence. Is there something else we can talk with you about?
I am just going to say that I can feel so much love right now, that it is coming through very strong, and it is brightening my emotions. And thank you for your loving answer.
And thank you for being loved.
And thank you both for bringing this forward. I was hoping I could get a little clarification as I view, excuse me, the Earth Mother as an adapter for all love energies, which we can explore and experience in a human incarnation. Because we have all of these other energies and beings which cannot access us in this form directly, but they can all interact with the Earth Mother. And she can bring that love to whatever and wherever it needs to be in her guise as the ever-loving being she is. And in that, I see our role, or one of our roles, as to allow more of that love energy to flow through us so we can infuse more of it into the Earth Collective to support her, which supports ourselves. Do I have that?
Love is the key to ascension. Because love opens all forms of communication. Because love is an action word. And it is that love that creates action. It is that love for humanity that causes people to help others, to have compassion, to be kind. And the Earth Mother, as we have said before, she was created with a purpose. She was created as a place where many would come. Many would come to experience so many things. Humans think they're the only ones here experiencing things. And you always hear, I'm a spiritual being learning what it is to be a human. And there are other kinds of beings who are here. many beings are here. Some have already learned what it is to be a human and have decided to stay here and to help with the ascension. The ascension, which is a consciousness, so much love, so much love. And it is within that consciousness that creates even more love. We feel sometimes that love is just going to burst our beings, but it won't. It will just grow. It will fill you up and radiate out from you like a beacon. And the Earth Mother knows how to adjust everything that needs to be adjusted. She was willing to give of herself for this. Is there something else?
I thought that was pretty profound. I don't have anything else to add. Anyone else with a question? Yes, we do have one from Christina Anna, if you are still available. Thank you.
Thank you and greetings.
Blessings to you.
Thank you. I wanted to ask, is Mother Earth happy right now?
Many say Mother Earth is not happy with us, that she is angry and retaliating against the humans. She isn't. She loves us. The things that are happening on this earth are created by the energy that is sent out from humanity. That is hard for people to understand, that they could create something like this. And it's not an intentional thing for many. There are many on this earth now who do not view her as mother. They view her as a resource. She is a sentient being. She is not just a resource. And yes, everything that we would need is here. But the disrespect that is coming to her becomes like a whirlwind of energy. All the hate that you see, and the people that have forgotten how important kindness is, and those that look at others as less or inferior. That is the energy they are sending out. So it's very important for those like you to send out that love. Fill yourself with it, and then let that radiate out to the mother and to everyone. Even telling a tree that you love them sends energy into this world that helps. The little things that make you happy, those things send that energy as well. And as Grandfather Kashima had said, it is no longer about the quantity, the number of hearts. It is about the quality of hearts that are here that will help with this ascension. In your smile and in your eyes, I see love. And we feel that love. It is there. Continue to share that love. We
Thank
would
you.
ask, you're so welcome. We would ask you all to send that love out. Every day, stand and feel yourself with that love and let it radiate out. Take your arms and move them all around. You will feel that energy and that love coming from your fingertips as if you were flinging glitter all around. That is love. And it's for everyone.
Thank you for the wonderful message.
You're so welcome.
Yes, do you have any parting information for us? It doesn't look like we have any other well, we have other questions. None of them have come up to be voiced, to be answered. We will put it that way. And thank you. We're all so grateful. This has been a fabulous session. Thank you. If you have anything.
Do not ever doubt that you were created in love. You chose love in this creation. We know that by what you're doing, what you're seeking. You have recognized that you are love. And when you are love, that radiates out to others. We love that analogy of seeing the love come out of us and go to others. When you go to the store, send out love to people as you walk by them. You don't have to tell them you're doing that, but they will know. What was that? Or they will think later, that was weird. But the joy that one feels when they share that love raises the vibrations of your heart. And that heart begins to continually send out love.
Quite a message to end on. Thank you so much.
I tell them all the time they're full of it.
Well, they are. They're just like giving it away.
Yes.
And
Oh,
Mr. Miles, any comments from y'all yuns?
Oh yeah, that was just so beautiful. You know, it reminded me when I go out in the morning and ground, put my feet in the grass, and I feel the love of the trees, and I love the trees back.
yes.
Uh, I always make it a point when I go out. I don't go out a lot, but when I do, to make sure that I smile and enjoy other people. So I loved your ending message there.
Me too. And I know I'm probably not alone in waiting for Heidi to provide her thoughts about what she was doing or experiencing during the previous session, if she cares to.
What are you asking?
Does it matter?
Yeah. Yeah, because you said the previous, what did you mean?
Well, no, I mean, well, obviously, any comments about this wonderful session that Arla had too, but I was also curious and had not forgotten about you going under your own specific trance for 5 minutes or so when Isabel was doing her thing. You had your own connection going.
When Isabel was channeling, the energies were so happy. And I'm holding this stone that I got in Bali,
Oh,
and it's lava river rock. So it's been but the shape of it, and usually I pick it up and it's you know, I don't always get the same feelings, but when I picked it up today, it just felt wonderful, and it just kind of blended in with that energy. And yeah, I was just really happy. And so I started singing um, in a light language. And sometimes the light languages will sound different. So it might depend on the energy that's there. And so it was just kind of a slow, loving song. And yeah, maybe I was receiving something or giving something. I don't know, but it
Mhm.
was just a really beautiful energy.
I was just curious because you were pretty deep into it, so. And
Yeah, it was for a good thing. It was good.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Arla brought 3 beings through tonight. I'm not sure who the second one was.
That was Kashima.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I didn't want to assume.
Well, he did not introduce himself. He usually does. I don't know why. He's quite the trickster too. So,
Well, and the
and
energy was different than when he came through previously
it
a couple of
depends.
weeks ago. It does.
His energy depends on how deep he is getting into a subject. And he was just basically making an appearance.
Mhm. Yeah, and I noted in the chat, I'm like, this is definitely a masculine energy. You
Yeah.
know, this was something that was stronger,
Yeah.
that was very strong.
So
And then
if he has if he is really sharing his wisdom, I won't know anything.
Mhm.
I will be out of it. And his voice will definitely become, I guess, more strong. When he talks to me, it's like he was tonight. But when he is bringing something forth, and I don't even remember what he said tonight, but when he's bringing something forth, his energy is so strong. And, um, there's definitely a difference. So, and
Oh
the
yeah.
grandmother's energy is like it's in flux sometimes. It flows and maybe gets stronger, and then, um, that's how I feel it when I'm channeling. And it's kind of like it flows and then it flows back. And so it feels good to me when when it gets to that point.
And and from a more human point of view, whenever that happens, I always try to figure out what variables might have caused it. And eventually I'm always just saying, it doesn't matter.
No,
It you can bust your brains about this, but it doesn't matter. If you want the answers, yes, you can have the
you already have them. All you have to do is open your heart and ask the question. And
but
the answer that you get may not be the answer that someone else gets, because we all within this reality get the answers we are supposed to have. Yes, we are individual souls that are covered by the collective.
and I think it's very interesting that I'm weaning myself of 3D as much as possible. They had me, well, like today, I was like, okay, no, it was, I didn't need to water yet. I'll be watering later on tonight. And it didn't rain, so that's all fine and dandy, but I don't have, I don't check the weather. I always used to be a nut to make sure I could be where the storms were in some way so I can get good vantage points. But yeah, it's just interesting, not trying to wean myself from looking at the clock and just knowing what time it is. And it seems like it's just little steps, but it's not. It's retraining ourselves to be spirit beings, or more spirit based.
That's part of the fourth dimension.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you slip into the fourth dimension, and you can slip out, because it's like it's got this revolving spiritual door that you go through and you feel it, and then whoop, I'm back to 3D again. So it's very interesting.
it and I'm really enjoying the part, and I'm sure everyone here is too, probably in some way or another, that as we continue to vibrate higher, it's easier and easier for new and other beings to connect with us in new ways. I'm just amazed. And I know that in some ways that's kind of cyclical too. And I've been contacted by so many beings who I probably don't ever expect to experience again.
Yes,
They're like,
yes.
you're not of interest to us, but we saw the open invitation and we thought, hey, maybe we can explore this later. And a couple of them have kind of tabled this like a bookmark, saying, hey, look, this could be a completely different expansion than what our realms have gone through before. And that's just like, they're going to keep us under review, you might say. I'm like, oh my gosh, But we
Well,
don't-
when we put that spiritual energy out, it is literally an RSVP to anybody that's got something to say. And as we have raised our consciousness as a humanity, that has definitely put the word out that, boy, there's a big change going on down on Earth or up on Earth or wherever. We've got to go see what's going. Let me see who's available right now. You know, I know for myself, I have different ones that come through. They come and wake me up. And they call my name literally and wake me up. And so it's like I feel the energy. If it's something that I feel like I'm to address, I will. As well as they can say, like you said, we're going to come back maybe at a later time. So there's so much wonderful stuff going on now with all of this change in energies. It just every day is like, okay, what's going to happen today? This is just so wonderful. And then you've got that other side that's just, you know, they're all at each other about this or about that. And I tell people, if you are so upset with what's going on in this 3D existence, then go feed somebody, go clothe somebody, go help somebody, become proactive in making this a better experience for others. And there is something about that, giving that energy of compassion and kindness and caring that will snap you right out of that 3D part that has just got you so upset.
and I know it's a nice paradox for all of the entities who wish to interact with humanity. They're like, how can we impress upon you guys all of the love that we are trying to give you by enabling you to proceed in these paths, which we can help you adapt your biology so you can accept more love. And it's like, oh my gosh. It's like, no, we have all of the winning lottery tickets right here. All you have to do is say, yes, you will allow us. And yeah, I just think it's fascinating because, like you mentioned, just within the last few minutes, some of the beings, they come in and they might just check in, but we have no idea how many other realms they are connected to, and where they share and how they share. And that is one of the marvels of our Earth Collective, because we're only cognizant of such a small percentage of all of the stuff that goes on. I mean, we're literally like a tourist. It's like, oh my gosh, yeah, we went to this continent. Oh yeah, we spent 4 weeks there. And what did you see? I saw almost 1% of part of the continent.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing with our reality. We're just experiencing less than 1% of everything that's going on around us. We can't sense volcanoes and dinosaurs and, gladiators coming through and fighting off gigantic earth sloths and, interacting with Anunnaki or whatever, all happening in our living rooms at the same time.
It's, I have people too say, Well, how do you know if they're good, if they're coming to you? What if they're evil? Evil doesn't exist within the energy of my heart.
You-
And so that's not going to be a problem I have to deal with. And that's one of the things that I work with people on, that the only reason there would be a demon is because the human gave it life. That they certainly wouldn't be here if this human existence of learning was not here. What would a demon do on such a perfect place?
And once humans experience the hybrid children, and even in just the limited form which I have, if that is evil, then I am all in about being duped. Hook, line, and sinker. I'll put your propaganda out, whatever it takes to expose more people to this wonderful thing. And if I'm, sucking humanity down this huge, ugly hole, then I'm all about it if it feels like what the hybrid children feel like. Because I can't imagine, after experiencing that energy, which has no, or I interpret as having no negative taint, that there's anything of, I mean, they just don't have the human fears and foibles that we've patterned ourselves into. So,
I've had a lot of people say through the years I'm delusional. And I've always told
thank
them
goodness you are.
that I am happy
Mm.
in this delusion then. And I'm going to send you peace and love from this delusional place. And I mean that in the best possible way.
Yes. And today was one of the strangest hybrid children channelings, because it wasn't about fun and uplifting stuff. They wanted to talk about streams of energy, which were really streams of consciousness, but the word rivers and streams was so far off the mark that they were just kind of frustrated, and they couldn't communicate anything about it to me, other than saying that our language just such a barrier that, and then they said, and then they had to learn about something that wasn't fun. They had to learn why and when they needed to shield their energy. And they're like, we don't like not sharing. We don't like holding back. And they're like, but now we don't have to do that. So blah, 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 blah. But, they had that little moment where it was like they were kind of lamenting that, we want to be ourselves. We don't want to have these restrictions. We understand why they are, but that doesn't mean we have to like it. We just have to accept it as part of our mission role. And I'm like, you want to think of these beings as children, but they're not. They are experienced interdimensional beings in small, lovable packaging. I mean, what great marketing went into this. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we're going to give you something that you can't help but to love, and deal with it.
That's what I was thinking about, all the negative experiences that people have had. And I'm thinking, but look at what beauty was created through that. And I mean, it was all agreed at a soul level, but still for people, that see it all as also negative, but look at the beauty.
Yep, that's a really good point, but they have to get their head out of 3D, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're not out of 3D, then you can experience all the stuff that's not,
Yeah.
which is everything, but still. What fun. I did have a small joke which came to me that I have an interdimensional tattoo. Unfortunately, it takes more time to dry than I have left to live.
Hmm.
I won't be showing that to anybody.
Thank you.
I didn't even have to tell her where it was at. Anyway, Heidi, since I haven't put anybody on the spot in like 6.5 minutes, would you like to share anything about your spiritual side of your vacation?
Yeah, it kind of goes with the theme of talking about sending loving energy into Earth. And I was thinking in terms of Earth's grid, Earth's ley lines or energetic grid. And when I was in Bali, um, I was able to connect with the feminine energy there. And so the purpose of the trip was a retreat centered around Reiki and channeling and talking about our 13 chakra system. And so we would have a meditation every morning, and it so happened that the morning that most of the 12 participants went to decided to go to the market that morning. And so instead of 12 people meditating on the shore where the oceans was sounding its waves, there was only myself and two other people, the facilitator, the hostess, and then one of the other participants. And I happened to be, I was guided to pick up a rock. It was a lava rock about the size of a grapefruit. So I picked that up, and then I picked up the rock that I showed you, the triangular one, and I picked up 3 plumeria. And there was a lot of energy coming through, and my best guess is that first it was purifying my chakras, because lava, I learned from the facilitator that lava rock is very purifying, like fire. And then the other part was, because at one point I was being told, okay, now put your hands in this mudra. And at one point they said, put your hands in I think it's called a solar or sun mudra. And I was like, I don't know what that is. And I saw in my mind my fingers outstretched, but I didn't do it. And because I didn't know what it was, and I didn't even know if there was a sun mudra. So, but the whole process continued. And at one point, my hands were up like this, and it felt like currents of energy were coming through my hands. And it was like it was the energy of Bali, the feminine energy of Bali, coming out through like a physical form into Earth's ley lines. And that's what it, that's what came into my mind. And in fact, the the hostess, I didn't know this, but when that was happening, she had done a little video clip of me because something about the lighting and just what was felt like. And so then when we were in our session, she said, "And here is the sun mudra." And I'm like, "There's a sun mudra." And it had outstretched fingers. And I can't remember where I was guided, where they wanted me to put it, but when she showed it, she was showing it like this. So this is the sun mudra that and so that was just a little, help for me to understand that what I was hearing was true guidance. And then when I went to get up, so by the time when everything finally finished, I went to get up, but I was weakened by, I guess, the amount of energy that went through. So I had to sit there for almost 10 minutes, just resting, just sitting there. And then I went into the kitchen area, which was like right next door. It's where we ate our meals, but they had water there and they had honey because they raise honey there too. And so I went to get a drink of water and I was guided to put honey in the water, and that helped as soon as I stirred the honey in because it was grounding me. And they even said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll be fine." And for the rest of the day, she had led another she led another beautiful meditation about the 13 chakras. And all I could do was lay there, and up about 20 feet up on the ceiling was this gecko that kept jumping the beams. So I was just like kind of like entertained by this gecko. So I was in a very good mood, but I just didn't have the mental faculty or mental energy to visualize a meditation. So that it was a very interesting experience. And so when the grandmothers were talking about sending energy out, or sending love out, that's what that felt like. It felt like love was being sent out into Earth's grid from this location. So that was I am so glad that I went because I was scared to travel. But I had, by just watching something, my guides or whatever, my guides put into my head that I wanted to go to Bali, and then I heard about this trip, and I liked the presenter, and so I signed up for the trip, even though I was scared, and it was the right trip to be. So, yeah.
That's awesome. One of the things Kashima had told me a long time ago and has me do, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but on the new moon and the full moon, I put a post to support the grid.
You do what to support the grid?
Put a post up on the new moon and the full moon
Okay.
to support the grid. And that's basically the instructions, is to send out that energy, to visualize that grid, and to send that energy along it. Because one of the things that they do, Kashima's people, is to help with the energy of the grids and the earth cradling her within this. And gosh, he told me that years ago. So Yeah, I usually post it on my page and then in some other areas as well. And that's what it sounded like to me when you were talking about that coming out, that that's where, and then when you said into the earth, I was like, yeah, that's
And that's a thought that came to my mind is this energy is from Bali, loving energy from this place because the energies here are very clean and clear. There's temples there in every home, every business, every village, and then there's main temples. And when I went to, there was one called Turta and Pool, which is they have a special pool of water. It's a natural pool, and from this flows these all these fountains. And you go in. There's certain ones you don't go to because they have different. They each have meanings, but you go to each one, and you I forget now. You splash, and then you put your hands against the wall and you allow the water to come over your head. And I found myself taking different times at different amounts of time under each one. And there's like about 12. And then there's some more, a couple more. But I kept getting the distinct impression that there was a particular guardian at each fountain and that we were being, and it was according to what you needed. So the land is very, very pure, and there's a lot of love there. And I think that's why that energy. And so I'm it it makes me feel so happy to send out that loving energy and so when you're talking about how Kashima does it, I that that sound like that, yeah, that resonates is what I'm trying to say. And I'm just very grateful for the experience. And yeah, I mean, that was the high, that to me, that was the whole highlight of the trip, even though I did other things, but that was so, yeah, it meant a lot to me. So,
that's awesome. That
And
is so
yeah, and great job by you pushing through your fears and then following your heart and going where you were led unquestioningly, or at least not giving those questions anything to foothold. That I think that's just amazing because you have set yourself up with a huge foundation for growth from this point on. You have that connection, you have that energy flowing through you now, and it will not stop. You can go back there anytime and renew yourself and refresh others and other environments with that. So
yeah,
yeah,
and I feel like that's what the hostess did for us. She's been there many times and she brought us over. And it's like we're all doing this. We're all doing this work. And I received from her, and someone will receive from me. And yeah, it's so, I'm just, it's so,
the cosmic dance,
yeah, yeah,
literally.
yeah. And we're all a part of it. So I just feel happy to be a part of it. And then, so I ended up with 4 trips that all converged into this summer. So the first one was La Jolla, where there was a channeler there and talked about Lemurian that the Lemurian heart energy is
Good
now
night,
come forth.
Christina.
And I can wait to tell the rest another time. if
We might as well finish. She can she can catch the last 4 or 5 minutes on the video.
okay. I just don't want to be talking too long. But he talked about the Lemurian energy, and from who he normally channels, the voice was completely different. And it almost, to me, it sounded like it sounded like one of the archangels. That's just what the energy felt like. He wasn't joking around. He was very loving. He was very succinct, and it just taught us everything we needed to know. And I just felt like I was sitting, uh, looking at an archangel. And then Bali happened, and then I was home for about a week, and then I went on a trip to Peru, doing ceremony with a couple. She is an unbroken lineage of the Inca tradition, and he was restoring the Inca tradition, and so we did ceremonies with them, and it was phenomenal. So again, it was not like a vacation. It was more of just going to this land, and what an amazing land to be. I learned so much. And one of the things that I learned is, because as we were driving into the Sacred Valley, we didn't go to Machu Picchu, we went to other places. So as we were driving into a Sacred Valley, a river would run over the road and down the winding road. So it would run over the road and down. And as we passed over the river crossing, I received the distinct teaching that all water is one. The water here is the same as the water at home. And I just started crying. And then I realized it's all one. All the beings, everything is one. All the mountains are one. And that's just one level of all is one. And so I received a lot of teachings, and there was a lot of other things going on, and I'm so grateful for what I learned. And there is a practice that I want to take home, or that I took home, that they gave us, that I will be doing on the full moon, from that. And then the last one was a trip to North Carolina, Boone, North Carolina, to the Ram Dass retreat. And that was there was a time that they were doing a meditation, and I felt as if I were holding the earth in my hands, and just bringing love into the earth in that way. And when I looked up, there was this young man, and he was dressed all in white, and he looked like, his appearance was very close to Archangel Raphael on one of the cards that I have, one of the Reiki cards. And I kept looking at him like, oh my gosh, I am so grateful for being able to think of Archangel Raphael right now, that you're a reminder of that, and it was just, and then, so I never saw him arrive. I'm not saying this is Archangel Raphael, but just my experience. I never saw this person arrive. And then when everyone started going up to go through the puja, I realized that when I had sat down, he was gone. So it was just he was just a person, I'm sure. But for me, for my experience, he brought that archangel into my awareness, right? So
That's one
So,
explanation.
yeah, so it was just really, gosh, it got dark in here. It was just a really, oh man, just the whole
Excellent.
experience. So,
And you know what Occam's razor is, right?
what is that? I think
Occam's
I've heard.
razor is an old way of deciding which is most true. And basically, it comes down to whichever is the simplest
Mm,
is the most likely. So if you have to go through great detail to explain something, then it's probably something else.
mm,
If you can't describe it, and I believe it's related to, if you can't describe it in 3 sentences, then you were never there. Something like that, that kind of stuff. But yeah, but I find that profound, especially on spiritual matters, because you can say, oh, well, yeah, well, there was a scientific thing, and yeah, when they built this in the 1960s, then yeah, this probably was corroded, and or yeah, or the shelf failed because that book was supposed to flop out, and that was supposed to happen, so you didn't get in the car at that moment, and you have this book. Well, no, it was because they used these particular nails. Yeah, we know how that works, right? We're just going to let them have their little story, and they can have that for them, and we can have our little story, and it works for us. And neither one of them are more true, but this is so cool. And we get to be here unraveling all of this stuff that we already know and not getting upset about it.
well, at the very least, it put that into my awareness. And that's, you know, and
Well,
so what else do I need? If he reminded me of that, then what else do I need? Do I really need him to really be? No.
well, apparently you need something else because you keep asking that question. And now think about, like, 3 or 4 months ago, you had no idea that all of these roles existed on the planet, that they even existed at all. And now you have in-depth insights into them and how they fit together. So we're just growing by leaps and bounds, and we don't even take the time to look back and say, holy shit, that was me before. Coming up, yeah, that little speck down there that's coming up, yeah, right there by that horseshoe turn, that's me. And it's, to me, and it's showing us time and time again there are no limits, that this is who we are, and it is always more. I've had maybe a couple of dozen entities come through, and that freaks me out. I figured I would get to a couple, and that would take up all my time. And it's like, what's time? Like the tall whites, they said we can come through today. I'm like, holy shit. The tall whites are saying they can come through. They can come through. They didn't even request it, which in itself is freaking just unusual. And I didn't have time to get to it today. Maybe they'll come
Maybe
through a
they were
little later.
putting you at ease. Were you worried about tonight?
Oh, not at all. I don't worry about anything. I haven't since, the late 1980s. But no, it's just so unusual. It was like the autistic child that suddenly asked to speak, that speaks, and they ask a question that you didn't think that they would ever think about, and they're speaking, and that's what it was kind of like. People who wake up out of the coma and say, yeah, do they still have that kind of ice cream? I'd like some of that. Like, you know,
So does that mean they're enjoying our presence?
and they want us to know that they're crowded around us,
Hmm.
that there is no free space at all. And they're all crowding around, and they're figuring out what energies work best here, and the seating arrangements are fucking intense. I will tell you that, because they're going on in a 360 fractal basis. And I'll just leave it at that, because you have your own concepts and abilities to connect, which is just freaking amazing to me. How far you've come in such a short amount of time, and you've worked all of these wonderful things. I mean, fast tracks or something, but you've just got that hyperdrive with turbo, Heidi. I'm telling you.
Just
That, yeah, love. That's the key to ascension.
Yep. I love that Emmanuel quote, transformation only happens through love.
Yep.
But this transformation is going to lovingly end as I kill the meeting for everyone. Thank you very much, ladies, and all of the people who come listen to this afterwards. It's been a
both
thrill,
of you.
and we'll do this again soon. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye. Night.
Good night.